So, welcome to Big Day Talk, and today we're at Groom.
Hi chaps, how are we doing? So obviously we know you guys because many of our weddings have your suits, and they're always amazing. We've done style shoots with you guys, and they're always amazing. So we just wanted to get to know you a little bit more. So tell us how it all started.
Well, it all started in 1994 in Warrington. We opened our first shop.
Yeah.
And it was just a retail shop, so we would sell suits mostly, but we also casual wear, jeans, sweaters, shoes, all that sort of stuff. And 1996, we just got into the suit hire, which was kind of by mistake, really.
Yeah.
One of our reps that we bought shirts from just said, would you like to start dealing with this company that hires suits to retailers that then pass the suits on to the end user?
Okay.
So we said we'll give it a try, and we had a little corner in the shop with 5 jackets and about 10 waistcoats and a couple of pairs of trousers.
Yeah.
And it just grew and grew from there.
So you opened a store in Liverpool then?
Yes, in 1999 we
Yeah.
opened our Liverpool store in the wedding house,
Okay.
which the owner of Groom owns the wedding house as well.
Right.
So where's the wedding house in Liverpool?
Just off of Parliament Street,
Right,
not far
okay.
from the Anglican Cathedral.
Right, okay.
Okay.
So the idea with the wedding house was it was multiple businesses within the wedding house all doing their own thing.
Like
so
a one-stop shop.
Kind of,
thing.
yeah. So we would do suits. There was a bridal company in there.
Right.
Photographer, videographer.
Right. We
so
missed that opportunity.
everything under one roof, yeah. So yeah, all worked really well. We all bounced off each other. So if somebody would come in for a wedding dress, they'd come in and look at the suits, and
Yeah.
most of the time, tried to get the dress from there. We did the suits.
Oh, that's good.
So it worked really well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was about 2004. Yeah, 2004. We opened the shop in Chester.
Yeah.
We've been there for quite a few years, and then 2019 we were just a little bit down the road. 2019 we decided to move locations into this shop in Chester.
Yeah.
What's the difference between what's it been like?
Size
Size.
is
Okay.
a lot bigger than it was down there. But the windows we've got here, we're on the corner.
Yeah.
And the passing trade we get now is unbelievable.
Yeah.
A lot of people walking in
Worth
off the
the move
street.
then.
100%. Yeah. Never looked back. It was just the timing of it. 2019 April.
Yeah.
We didn't have a full year, and then COVID hit. So
Hit everybody though, didn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, not looked back since. It's just been a fantastic move. So.
yeah.
Well,
all doing
we've
good.
always had like great feedback from all the couples that we've worked with. You know, whenever we're shooting on a wedding day kind of thing, we could see the name Groom on the suit bag.
Yeah.
And they've only got nice things to say. You know,
Yeah.
nobody ever comes
Good.
back with a bad story, which is good. And you, in our opinion, to be fair, you are one of the best in the business because it's the customer service. I mean, I bought a suit from here, and it's nice to be able to come in and know the fact you're going to get looked after.
That's it,
Yeah.
isn't it? You
Yeah.
walk in, everyone's, hello, how are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it can be quite intimidating, can't it? Especially for like suit stuff. You've got
It's not something you do all the time, is it?
No.
So
No.
you only do it a couple of times in your life, wedding,
Yeah.
races or whatever. You don't do it that often.
No,
So
you don't. And you got a picture in your mind of like it'd just be some old man with a tape measure, suit you,
It's
sir.
not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore.
Even I'm here.
Well,
But no,
not
this
so
is,
much of the old.
yeah, this is much more kind of like it's younger, modern, isn't it? And that's where weddings take place, don't they? Most of it's between like the age of 25 and 35.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the kind of customer service we're all
Well,
expecting.
each shop has a range of people, young, old, and everything.
Yeah.
So there's experience in every shop,
Yeah.
and there's different ideas in every shop. So if you say, "What
Yeah.
do you think?" or you've got different opinions on,
Yeah.
on what you can wear.
But you've got that vibe that suits that age range.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm
It
getting
is.
at. It's not that kind of stuffy old man shop
No.
that you kind of go into.
No,
where
definitely not.
Yeah. It feels like quite young and
Modern and
when-
fresh, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're on the start of the journey for getting the suit that you need, how's best to go about that?
Well, it's a difficult journey, isn't it, really? Because you never know what you want. So
Yeah.
we would always recommend bringing your partner because you know exactly what you want for your wedding.
Yeah.
And even if you've got conflicting ideas, you you know what you want as a group, really, for the look and what you want out of it. Usually, sometimes they say, "Oh, can we bring groomsmen, dads, brothers, family, friends,
Yeah.
whatever." We would steer away from that because otherwise you've got if you've got a big party, you've got
Too
6,
many
7 opinions.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you've got to remember who's getting married,
Yeah.
and it's you two.
Right.
So we would always say just you two for the start, and then later on we'll do all the fittings, we'll do all the grooms and all the dads, all the brothers. So don't worry about that. You will get your day out in the end, and you can
Yeah.
go to the pub and whatever and do whatever you want. But initially we need to know what you're having
Right.
and get started on that.
Yeah.
That's good advice, that, because the first thing you think of is, go get a suit. That's a lad's job.
Yeah.
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 We'll take care of that. Don't worry, love. I've got this.
The problem is, it
Yeah,
doesn't
but do
happen.
they?
Yeah.
I
No.
wouldn't trust you.
Cheers.
It's
No,
just,
I really wouldn't.
it's just a group
I
of
wouldn't
lads.
trust me. No,
To be honest, I didn't trust you when you had to come for a suit anyway.
no, that's true.
I
That's
came
true.
with you.
You came with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, certain brides are almost nervous to come because they're like, do they want me there, and do they want my opinion on it?
Yeah.
And I'd always say definitely have that opinion.
Yeah.
So even if they go against that opinion and they go, actually I do want this suit, at least you've got an opinion on the suit, and actually this is the one I want.
Yeah.
Do you have many grooms that have obviously came in with their partner and then they've came back in with the lads and they've changed their mind?
We've had the opposite, where the groom's come in without his partner and chosen a suit and paid a deposit,
Right.
and then the bride's come back.
You get the phone
Okay.
call.
Yeah,
I don't like
that's
what
not
he's
what I'm
picked.
having. Yeah.
Yeah, he's chosen a green waistcoat and the bridesmaids are in lilac, and it should have been a lilac tie. Or
And he's come back with his tail between his legs, saying, "Oh, actually, I don't really need that anymore."
Yeah.
How does that work with colour scheme then? Because speaking for most grooms and blokes, we're not usually aware of what the colour scheme that the bride's picked. We're not probably going to know what the bridesmaids' dresses are going to be colour-wise. They just doesn't seem to register.
Well, these are questions we quite often ask when people are booking an appointment. So when they'll phone up
okay.
and say, "Can I book an appointment to come in?" we'll be asking those questions. Have you
That
got
makes
anything in
sense.
mind? Have you got a colour of suit?
Yeah.
What colour are the bridesmaids? And same with
Yeah.
emails as well. So we're trying to gather that information before they walk through the door. So
Right.
we've got a bit of an idea when they're coming in.
That's good.
Exactly
Do you
what
get a
they're
lot of
thinking
grooms putting you on hold while they just go check that colour scheme?
all of our couples as well, they come in, 3 or 4 times. So
Yeah.
through that, we get to know the couples very well.
Right.
And they come in, with different people, but we
Yeah.
get to know exactly what they want, so we can basically achieve what they want of the suits.
That makes sense.
But it takes a couple of appointments to understand exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
ties, whether it's waistcoats, how they want to tie into the bridesmaids, how they want to look as one, party.
Yeah.
It just take a couple of chats and conversations around that. But that's what the initial appointment is for, so we can understand what they want and what they want to look like on the photos. And I'm sure you when you have your first appointment, you say, what do you want from the photo?
Yeah.
And then we can achieve that look for you.
Yeah.
And that's a similar sort of thing to what
That's
we do.
it. You're always trying to scope out their expectations, aren't you, from the get-go, so you can make sure you can exceed them. Makes total sense.
Definitely.
So your top advice is then, when you make your first appointment, come together.
Yes,
Bring your partner.
100%.
Don't try and do it on your own.
And come early as well.
Yeah, come early.
early.
Don't be a lad's lad.
No,
Just
don't leave it to the last minute.
Right.
We always say, to be honest with you, 12 to 14 months.
12 to 14
Give
months.
yourself more time than you think you ever need to give yourself. 'Cause
Yeah.
you come in, have a look, have a browse, decide on what suit you want to go for. Even
Right.
if it comes down further down the line and you change your bridesmaids or you change a slightly different look and you go,
Yeah.
you know what, please can we change your waistcoats or can we
Yeah.
change your tie or whatever. We're not set in stone. We can
Yeah.
do that for you. We can work with you on that
Yeah.
because we're trying to achieve, the look that you want.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem as well.
I think you've got the difficult end of the market because with our side of stuff, predominantly a lot of the conversations we're going to have will be with the partner who's looking after it, which for the majority of the time will be a bride.
Yeah.
But then the times where we do have like face-to-face meetings with the groom, we have little WhatsApp groups with the whoever the couple are. So let's just say it's bride and groom and me. And the groom will most likely read everything that's happening, but not really know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then when we
That'd be
get, then we get to
Selective hearing, isn't
exactly,
it?
yeah.
They
And
hear
then
what they want to
we
hear.
get to the pre-wedding call, and they're just guests at their own wedding.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. So you must have the difficult side of having to take these guys who are going to push this to a low priority and go, "Oh, I'll sort that out later. I
Yeah.
can just walk into a store, pick up any suit. I know what size I am. I can just grab
And for
that."
the
and
people
walk
that
away.
can, that's great.
Yeah.
But you've got to think about the whole party. You're not just thinking
Yeah.
about what I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
a lot of men do, and me included. They
Yeah.
think, you know what, I'll be fine. I'll just walk in and be. But it's not the case. For your wedding day, you want to look the best you can possibly look.
Yeah.
Not leave it to the last minute and look the worst.
I'm making men sound really terrible, but it's just not. It just doesn't register. Clothes shopping just doesn't register as a high priority.
No.
for
Doesn't.
men. And that's what this is. It is shopping.
And
for
most of
clothes,
them don't like doing it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't want to go suit shopping.
Yeah.
They've got better things to do. They want to go and watch the football or go to
Yeah.
the pub.
Well, that's what I like about these shops is they've got a really nice feel to them. So it feels and
It's
you're,
relaxing,
you're
yeah.
centre of town as well. So there's no harm in kind of coming here first,
Yep.
pre-alcohol,
Yeah.
Definitely free.
Yeah.
and then go for a nice lunch, or then go with the lads. Or then
We
go
always
to
say that for your fittings. So obviously,
Yeah.
initial appointment, partner.
Yeah.
And then for your fittings, obviously you've got to bring all the lads, all the dads and everything. And then that's your time to go into town. Come for
Yeah.
your fitting. We'll get you sorted. That's something ticked off.
Yeah.
You're in the good books, and then you can go into town. You can make a day of it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the best way of doing it, rather than the other way around.
Yeah. Do you get it much then where people come in and they've had a drink first because they've been out with the lads,
Sometimes.
And then they come in here.
It's normally a 4:30 appointment on a Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't ring alarm bells.
Last fitting appointment, yeah. And there's 6 of them, and they've all, they've been in the pub.
Right.
Definitely, 100%.
Right.
Hiding each other's trousers in the change rooms and things.
It's usually not a problem, to be honest with you, because we know exactly what they're having. We can do the fittings. Yes, it takes a little bit longer, and you've got to have a bit of patience with it. Yeah. But we know exactly what they're having. The problem comes when they say, "Oh, I want to change this," and then you have to double check the next morning. Do you actually want to change that? And when they come in, they're in a lounge suit, and they go, "Actually, I want tails or a tux." So one of the best men says, "Oh, yeah, why do you go for that?"
Check with the bride.
Yeah, always check with the bride.
Right, yeah, check with your partner. Yeah. So what happens then if they come for a fit in and they think everything's good and they like gain a bit of weight, or what happens? Do you have like a final fitting to check everything's still okay, or is it just what are the steps you have? So you have your initial visit.
Yeah.
And then what happens after?
So on a hire suit, we measure the hire suits 8 weeks before the wedding.
8 weeks before the wedding.
So it's pretty close to the wedding, so there's not that much of a chance for them to lose another stone.
Right.
Yeah.
Which very rarely happens. And then a week before the wedding, the suits are ready for collection.
Okay.
Right.
We ask the bride and groom to collect the suits from store and hand them out to the guys over the weekend. And then if anybody has changed size, we get a phone call on the Monday morning and replace it by Tuesday. So again, in plenty of time for the wedding.
Perfect.
So again, all pretty straightforward really, and we've been doing the same system for years, so it works for us.
Do you get more people hiring or buying in terms of?
Big mixture. It used to be just hire. So when we started doing hire back in 1996, it was mostly retail. Then we started doing a little bit of hire.
Right.
All of a sudden, it went from retail. We didn't do any retail, and everything was hire. Until probably 7 years ago, we just bought a couple of ranges of suits, shoes, and ties, and it grew. So it's probably 50-50 now. We probably hire as much as we sell.
And is it the same process for hiring and buying?
Slightly different. I mean, to be honest with you, we'd always recommend the groom buys, because you can do any alterations you want to it. The groomsman is slightly different, obviously they'll fit, but we want the groom to feel the best he possibly can on his day.
So you can do more to a suit if you buy it than if you try
slightly
to hire
more,
it.
yeah.
Slightly more,
because obviously for a hire we've got to use it a couple of times. But we will alter a hire suit, not a problem. So any leg length you want or any sleeve length, we can do that for you. And they come in 2 fits. They come in a tapered and a tailored, so that we can work with whatever you want. Our hire suits go from a 34 to a 64-ish, so we can do anything you want on sort of that side.
Right.
But yeah, we can do a little bit more on the purchase.
Okay.
Obviously, with it being
And
theirs to
hiring
keep.
and buying, how long should they leave then for alterations? What's that magic time then?
Purchase suits, we'd always say give it a bit more than hire, because we need to order it in, provide everything in stock. And what we usually do is we have the groom come in before the fitting for the rest of the lads, order his suit. So we'd probably say about 6 months before the wedding, come in for your fitting.
Right.
And then we can get it in for you. And then we have it in for that fitting, so we can do your alterations with the other lads. So you can all come in together and have your fittings done. So your alterations done at the same time as their fittings, if that makes sense.
Right.
And then it'll be ready, similar sort of time to pick up as well.
Perfect.
We're saying first appointment 12 months before.
Yeah.
Yeah. First fitting appointment for purchases is
6
6 months before, and then fitting for hires is 8 weeks.
And then you
8
pick
weeks.
up and drop back 2 days after.
Yeah.
And that's to allow time in case there's any little alterations that are needed.
Sometimes they're out of stock and things like that. You never know, because at the minute we're using suppliers.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll be using our own suits, so it won't have to be the 6 months. We know what's in stock, so it can come in a couple of months before and we'll have everything. But at the minute we are sort of at liberty with what they've got.
Supplier
what we've
issues
got.
can be an issue for us, because if they've not got them in stock, sometimes they don't know when they're going to come back into stock.
Yeah.
So if we told a customer, come in 3 months before your wedding, and they're out of stock for 3 months, then we've not got a suit for a customer for a wedding, which is a big problem.
But that won't be an issue in the future.
No. But that's the same for every suit shop, though, isn't it? They all use suit suppliers, don't they? It's the same for every clothes shop, I suppose. So, but you're going to be having your own groom suits.
Yeah.
So these are going to be, oh, wow. So,
these are the ones.
So here first then, starting your own brand.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Oh, that's amazing.
They look really nice as well.
They are amazing, yeah. Is that going to allow you to have a bigger stock range or more capacity, or what benefits will that give you having your own suits?
Benefits of having our own is we do thousands of weddings a year, and we have done for years and years and years. So we understand what grooms want. That we understand exactly what they want. Yeah. So when we're buying from other companies, we sort of have to sell what they have.
Okay.
Whereas if we're making our own, we can tailor it to our sort of clientele, really.
Yeah.
So we
Is that design stuff then to kind of get what's in fashion?
We design all of our suits.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 at the minute. We've got a couple more in 2025. So we've literally just started.
Okay.
So eventually we'll have the full collection.
Oh, amazing.
And we can design it from exactly what we hear back. So we hear feedback and we can go and act on that and go for exactly what we want.
Oh, fantastic.
And we get the right fit as well, so we know
Yeah.
what suit fits our customer. So all of our suits are going to be exactly the same fit when they come in. At the moment, we've got 3 or 4 different manufacturers,
Oh, amazing.
all fitting differently.
Yeah.
So somebody might be a 34 waist in one suit and 36 in another, but going forward, everything will be exactly the same.
And you know how much you'll be able to change that suit as well for somebody who needs a fitting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So say if you've got somebody who's really, really tall, like 6'8"
Yeah.
that you know that you can actually, we can adapt it to a. Yeah.
That's the thing, and if we can change, we can act on those changes. So as soon as we decided, actually, we're getting more taller people coming in, we can go, right, we've got a long now, and we'll start making a long.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we know that's going to be good for our customers.
I do struggle.
So that's
It's I'm the M&S tall range a lot of the time. That's where I live. That being said, you did manage to fit a suit to me, so that was impressive.
Yeah,
we are.
It was very good.
Yeah. Because you live more in this world, don't you? So Vic was a QA for Berry once upon a time.
Once upon a time, yeah.
And
I actually have a degree.
you actually have a degree in this
I
stuff.
have a degree in clothing design
Right,
technology.
okay, well, there you
so,
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I know about alterations.
You do. So whenever there's back and forth going on, I just rely on Vic to measure me up.
Well, if ever you
I'm
need a
not
job,
gonna
Yeah. Well, this is why I got so in a mood with you that it took you so long to come in for a suit.
Yes.
And I kept saying to him, no, if they have to make any alterations, which
Yeah.
they will,
Yeah.
that you were just putting it off.
Yeah, because I did the typical lads lad thing,
Yeah,
which is
I'll be fine.
I left it
It'll
too
be
long.
okay.
I'll be
I
fine.
assumed things will fit me, and then
even
of
being
course
6'8".
Yeah,
Yeah.
even being 6'8", because
But-
you've been buying me suits that do fit me.
Yeah.
So
Well, luckily, you came to the right place, didn't you?
Yeah,
we
We've
did come to
we've
the
got
right
a team of
place.
tailors
Yeah,
that do
we
everything
did.
for us.
And,
Staff
you're really
were
accommodating
amazing.
for me, to be fair, which was great, because you took on board the fact that I'd done something really stupid and left it too late, and still were able to work some magic and get it done
look.
quickly. But that's not something that I'd recommend to anyone, because
No.
there's
We
always the
won't
possibility
recommend
that won't
No,
happen.
don't
But
recommend
we
it.
always advocate ourselves on being able to solve, if someone comes in and need a suit in 2 days,
Yeah.
and it's only been
Well,
sprung upon them,
They
we'll
were
sort it.
brilliant here because as soon as we walked in and we said exactly what was going on, they knew straight off, these are the suits that we can get done straight away.
Yeah.
So they knew which one had the long lead times and what we'd have issues with.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful from the get-go, was
Yeah.
knowing what we had to pick from. So
Well, all the team know exactly what stock we've got,
Yeah,
and
they
they know
were
exactly
really
what
great.
stock's coming in and going out,
And what
that
sizes we
helps
can do them
massively.
in.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, then you don't know, and then we're all in a cycle of no one knows what we're doing. So
yeah.
Well, that's the difference with your level of kind of customer service. That in a way, I kind of put it to the back of my brain because I knew you could sort it, but then that's not a really good thing to rely on, because
No.
you're always
a
taking
lot of
that.
people don't know that. So
They don't know
yeah.
that, and lads do take risks with how long they can leave stuff, and then it's too last minute, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden they can't get what they want. Do you get many scenarios where they can't get what they want because they've left it too long, even despite your best efforts?
Possibly a suit might just not be in stock.
Yeah.
They could have
Is that
come
normally
in.
the biggest holdback that the suppliers won't have it?
Most of the time we can get a suit to fit anybody.
Yeah.
It is very rare, but we'll always try our best to solve.
Yeah.
But obviously, things aren't in our control.
Yeah.
There's not that much we can do about
Yeah.
it. But anything that we can control, we will obviously do our best to do it. And
Because we know that with the work we do, where we we give the best advice we can, and we can say you can still do what you want. It's your we can't control it. It's your, and you can do what you like. But we also know what the result's going to be when you don't follow that advice, because you're so experienced and you know what's going to happen, and you know the potential pitfalls. There's always the small possibility everything will still work out, because we'll all work extra hard to
course.
try and make it happen. But 99.9% of the time that'll work, and there'll always be that one small time it doesn't, and then it scuppers everything, doesn't it?
that's why you follow the advice.
So how soon should couples start looking for their suit?
So I would recommend at least 12 to 14 months before the wedding to
Yeah.
start coming in to have a look.
Okay.
Just the whole process, we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we're showing the bride and groom exactly what they've asked for,
Yeah.
and we've got the right outfit for them. Plenty of time we need.
When you first come here to obviously look at suits as a couple, will there be a fitting at the first?
Not
time you
normally,
come?
no, depending on the time frame. So if
Yeah.
you're giving us 12 to 14 months,
Yeah.
we would then look at booking an appointment for the groom if he's buying his suit
Okay.
about 6 months before the wedding for his fitting on his purchase.
Yeah.
And then for the higher suits, if we're doing the rest of the wedding party, we would do those 8 weeks before the wedding.
For UK weddings, how long's the hire period?
So usually it's just over a week. So you get the suits a week before the wedding.
Okay,
So that's so everyone will try them on, make sure they fit, make sure they're 100% happy with everything,
that's good.
and then they get them back 2 days after to us.
Oh, perfect. So you
and
get a
anyone
little bit
can
of
drop them
like
off.
chill
Yeah.
time then,
Yeah.
kind of after the wedding. You're not kind of like running back the next
Yeah,
day. to get
hangover
them
day,
back.
and then
Hangover
and then
day.
the due back.
Nice.
Anyone can run them back. It doesn't have to be bridegroom if they're going on a honeymoon or whatever. It can be anyone.
Perfect.
And we'll sort that out, not a problem.
Oh, that's really good. And then how does it work for destination weddings then? So if you're going abroad to get married and you're going to hire a suit, how does that work?
So we obviously understand that it's not going to be as simple as you go to the venue and you come back a day after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're going abroad, you know, it could be 2-3 weeks you're away there for.
Yeah.
And we can work that. That's not a problem. As long as you let us know we're not going to be back for another week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever, and we can work around, we can help you. That's fine. That's not an issue.
Oh, perfect.
But you just need to let us know.
Yeah.
So it's like an extended kind of hire then. So when you're abroad, you don't need to worry about kind of getting back
Exactly.
straight away.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can-
yeah.
You can get them back to you later
So
on.
obviously, looking at all the suits around here, you don't just obviously do the UK.
No.
You can actually do weddings abroad with some of the suits, because you can see along here that some of them, the texture of them, and they're a lot thicker. And then I'm guessing you do lightweight ones.
Yeah, so we do tweeds, obviously.
Yeah.
We have actually got a range of summer tweeds as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
UK and abroad, you're not going to get too hot in them.
Okay.
Obviously, a 2-piece is less hot than a 3-piece, but that's not. We can do anything.
Yeah.
We've got loads of lightweight summer suits, various colours as well.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem.
So travelling abroad and in the UK, I'm guessing it's a good idea to buy your shirts then, get them from you guys. 'Cause
Yep.
if you try and hire them, they won't be like pure white and crispy, will they?
No.
They'll end
So
up being
we used to
washed.
hire. We used to hire shirts
Yeah.
Yeah.
for most wedding parties, to be honest with you. And we look back at the photos and we thought it's not what we want a groom suit to look spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw the shirts were letting it down a little bit, because obviously once you go through the wash, even twice,
Yeah.
they're not as white as they are when you buy them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you see that in the
Yeah,
photos
I
as
get
well.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we see it in the photos. I get it with my own shirts, you know, even from black shirts
Exactly.
that we wear, they just start to fade a little bit after.
So we've now got shirts we just sell. So whether you're a tuxedo, we've got loads of different dress shirts for you,
Right.
Yeah.
and we'd always sell them. So you've got a bright white shirt for every single member of the party, and they're all matching, because I believe it or not, you can get different style of shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Covered buttons, so fly front.
Yeah.
You've got different, collars and everything.
And sometimes that's
Yeah.
nice because sometimes you want a groom to look slightly different than
Yeah.
the rest of his groomsmen.
But you don't want every single person in a different shirt. 'Cause
Right,
then
exactly.
you start
Yeah.
looking like a bit of a mess, really, and
Yeah.
that's not what we want. We want your photos to
Uniformed.
look good. Exactly.
Yeah. So the top advice then is to buy a shirt when you hire your suit or when you buy your suit.
I'd always buy a shirt, and an
Yeah.
extra one if you are going abroad or you're in a hot place. Get the groom to buy 2 shirts, or everyone buy 2 shirts.
Yes,
so you can have a little.
We
swap
do see
over.
that a lot
Yeah.
when we go abroad. We do see grooms sweating through their shirts. It's nice to be able to do a bit of a change. halfway
Exactly.
through.
Freshen up a little bit, yeah.
So, being a man who has big shoes, how does it work when I come for a suit and then I need shoes to go with that style? How does that work?
So we sell shoes.
Yeah.
We would always recommend that the bride and groom select the shoe
Yeah.
for the wedding party, and make sure that everybody wears the same shoe.
Okay.
Because somebody will come in and say, I want a brown shoe, but they mean tan. So
Right.
if they tell the whole
Yeah.
wedding party, I want brown shoes, and somebody goes and buys a tan shoe,
Right.
somebody buys a brown shoe, it'll just look weird on the photographs. It just won't look good. So again, same thing with the shirts. We want everything to be uniformed and crisp and looking good. So
Right.
nobody to wear second-hand shoes that have already been worn before.
Yeah.
Definitely new shoes.
It can actually make the suits look different as well. So if someone's in a pair of dark brown shoes and someone's in a pair of tan shoes, it makes the suit look lighter and darker on
Right.
photos,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you've seen as well.
Yeah, it does.
But
Yeah. Now you said it, it makes sense. Yeah.
When you've got 5 people stuck next to each other and
Yeah.
they've all got different pairs of shoes on,
Just doesn't
Yeah.
look right on the
doesn't,
pictures.
it doesn't look as good as it can
And
be.
I'm guessing you can accommodate from everyone from petite feet right through to my size 13 plus.
Yeah, yeah. We've got shoes that go from size 5 up to size 14. So
Right.
yeah, we've got you covered. Don't worry.
Perfect. And you deal with all the kids as well, don't you?
Yep.
I noticed there's some
Yeah.
cute little kid suits out there. So
Hire on
Yeah.
purchase. We
Hire
do,
and
we do
purchase
everything for
first.
kids. Yeah, I think about half the range we've got at the minute. We're doing kids as well, so dads and lads or whatever.
That's
Oh.
nice.
Nephews, whatever. We
Nothing
can,
more adorable than a little boy in a correctly fitted suit.
Definitely.
It looks really,
Yeah,
really nice.
they
So
look
what
really
sort of
cute.
age ranges do you do them for the little lads?
Anything from 1 to 14.
Wow,
Really?
from 1
Yeah,
years
yeah,
old.
yeah,
Yeah.
1 years
Wow.
old.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you see a lot of kids wearing suits
Yeah.
for weddings, and they're not fitted
No.
properly. They've
That's
just
right.
gone, he's one, so he'll fit in a 3 or whatever, and it's, it'll look kind of cute for a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you want them, we can do all the alterations on kids as well, so we
Wow.
can do everything. So you bring them to the fitting.
Yeah.
They obviously have a couple more fittings because
Yeah.
they tend to grow
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit, which
Yes,
is,
they do change a lot, don't they?
Exactly. But we can do all the alterations for that as well, so they'll have a properly fitted suit for the
Yeah.
day, like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah. What's it like trying to get a a fitted suit for a 1-year-old.
It can be problematic. You can see the issues there.
Yeah. It's hard enough keeping the little kids in the suit, to be honest, on the wedding day.
We usually have to lock off the back because there's a lot of screaming and a lot of tantrums being thrown. And
that's just Hugo.
Yeah, exactly. That's just me. It's nothing to do with the kids.
Yeah.
But it's worth it though, because when you see a little lad in a properly fitted suit,
they do look cute, don't they?
Fantastic.
Yeah, especially when they're
lovely.
matching the dad as well.
Exactly, and I think that's the bit that people kind of miss is when you get those kind of matching sets, and you've got dads and lads, as you said. That's just really, really lovely.
And it makes for great pictures as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I think the little lads are often an afterthought, and then they'll just go and get like an off-the-shelf suit from a shop or something, and it won't quite be the same colour. And it won't. It just doesn't. Shade matches off, and it just doesn't have quite the same style. And
that's the thing. We pride ourselves on being to be able to sort anyone. So whatever size you are, we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Anything from adults, kids, whatever we can do.
Perfect.
So it's a sort of a one-stop shop. Anything, shoes,
absolutely.
ties, shirts, belts, anything you want. Ankle links.
Yep,
anything you want, we can do it here.
I've noticed you do the kind of Pinky Blinders style hats.
Through
we sell loads.
You do top hats as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Canes, top hats, ascot.
You do canes?
Yeah, we do canes.
Nice.
So they used to be a big thing, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Less so nowadays, but
you come back very scratched. I think the guys used to sword fight with them.
I'm guessing. I mean, obviously, all those things will be purchased, but I'm guessing for the top hats, you can just hire those because they're a different kind of hat, aren't they?
Not something you wear every day.
You're not going to do much with that afterwards, are you?
No.
Really walk into Tesco
Same
with
with
your
tails.
top hat on and your cane.
We can sell them, but people tend not to want to.
So they're a one-use
item.
kind of suit, aren't they? Compared to tux that you might end up wearing another time,
Exactly.
or other suits that you'll wear to somebody else's wedding at some point in the future, or you've got it in stock then, haven't you?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So how does it work then if, say, Mike's ate too much over Christmas and he comes back in for his suit and it's not quite right?
That's a nice way of saying I'm fatter.
Did you eat too much cake over Christmas?
I always eat too much cake.
Well, on a high suit, we measure 8 weeks before.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of time for people to lose too much weight between that 8-week period.
Right.
So it's pretty straightforward. It's literally 8 weeks measured. Try your suit on a week before the wedding. So it's only 7 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
They're not really going to lose that much weight. But it's fine. So even in that 1 week period before the wedding, when they've collected the suits, if anybody's put a stone on, lost a stone, we've got plenty of stock in our warehouse.
Right.
We get a phone call on the Monday morning. We get a replacement on Tuesday afternoon from our warehouse. So, easy.
That's good.
Do you try and encourage all of the groomsmen to come and get fitted by yourselves?
Yes. We do get people that live abroad or down south and they can't make it for fitting. Ideally, we would like to see everybody, but we know it's not always possible.
Yeah.
So in that case, we'll ask people to send measurements to us.
Okay.
But try and get them accurate.
Yeah.
The problem is
there's
most
that worry,
guys,
isn't it, with men and measuring tapes?
Yeah, you get guys coming in here and will say, what size waist are you? I'm a 34 waist.
Yeah.
And you look at them and you think, probably more like a 38. We just give them a 38 trouser.
Yeah.
Try those on and they'll fit.
Yeah.
We just don't tell them.
And then they go back to all the lads and say, I'm a 34, I'm a 34.
Yeah.
And they see the sheet and it's not quite a 34, but...
Yeah, so anybody sending measurements into us needs to be as accurate as possible. I quite often say, if they've got a suit in the wardrobe that fits them, give us those sizes because it's easier than
Do you help them with how to measure? Do you kind of explain to them what...
It's on the website, So in our
brilliant.
FAQs on the website. So
that's helpful.
And also, if they call us and say, I'm a 32 waist, I'm a 46 jacket,
Yeah.
alarm bells ring instantly. We know that's... It's possible, but it's not very likely.
Right, okay,
So, and also we can ask for a picture and then all the staff can see that's not quite right. And we've got experience in that and we can sort of see that's not right.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing on that side. And
literally sizing people up. As you say.
It's weird because you'll walk down the street and you'll be like, it's a 32 waist. He's not a 32 waist. But that's also the week grace period as well.
Yeah.
So if they have sent measurements in, we know who sent measurements in and who hasn't.
Right.
So we'll make sure we call and say, have you tried them on?
Okay.
Make sure everything's okay with especially the people that haven't been in and tried them on and been measured by ourselves.
But we'll have had a conversation with the bride and groom as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they pick the suits up, we'll know that John's not tried his suits on in our store.
Yeah.
And we'll say, when are they coming up for the wedding? Day before.
Right.
Give us a call the day before the wedding. Any issues? Our warehouse is down the road in Warrington. We'll have a replacement for you.
Oh,
that
that's
makes
really
sense.
good.
So we can accommodate anybody, really.
What's the difference between coming to groom and getting a suit and going to a supermarket or a shop which sells suits?
I would say naturally the range of suits we've got.
Yeah.
So we've got loads of suits, so people can come in and go, oh, I like that, I don't like that, and they can try 5 or 6 suits on, once you've tried them on, you know what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
So you've got the range in here that you only need to go to Groom and you can see exactly what you've got.
Yeah.
Every suit you could possibly imagine in terms of colours, style, tweed, non-tweed, linen,
And
whatever
you've got you guys to help guide you with that.
Exactly,
as
you've
well,
got the
hasn't it?
expertise.
Yeah.
We've been around for over 30 years now.
Yeah.
So every single staff member has the expertise to run you through exactly what you want.
Yeah.
So if you've come in, I've got a picture of a suit I really want, I really like, I've seen it online, we'll find one that's pretty much identical that you're really happy with.
Oh, that's really
And
good.
a lot of grooms do come in, or not even for the races, and come in. I've got this suit, I really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of brides send them in with a picture and go, "Can you have a look for that one?"
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, we've got something identical, very similar.
Do you get that as a popular thing for you? Do you get people coming in looking for suits for the races, and is that where people come, do they come to you for that?
We mainly do weddings, so we specialise in weddings. So every member of staff is specialised and trained on how to deal with weddings and couples, and what looks good and what doesn't look good in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, colour clashes and everything. So we have the knowledge behind that, which obviously when you go to the likes of Next or whatever, they haven't got a clue. They don't see the wedding pictures. They don't see the whole process. They don't see the couples come in. They don't see the pictures afterwards because they don't care.
Yeah.
Whereas when couples come in here, we know we're going to look after them throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
Whatever member of staff you encounter, you'll get the same treatment and you'll get the same care and expertise, no matter what store you go to, no matter what member of staff you speak to.
The thing is, our staff, everybody that works for us now, is minimum of 2 years, with some staff 16, 20 years.
Wow.
So it's, everybody knows exactly what we do, how we do it, and how to advise brides and grooms to select the right suit.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's the thing, you only get married once, ideally, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fingers
not a
crossed,
lot of people know exactly what they want when they come in. And that's what we're here for. We're here to guide you through. I like that, but I don't know whether I want it. You come in here, you try it on, and you know whether you want it. Well, once you put it on, the thing with the suit is it's not like putting a t-shirt on.
No.
Once you put it on, you know if it fits right, you know if you like it.
Yeah.
And that's something that initially clicks in someone's
Has
mind.
a feel to it, doesn't it?
Does,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
And that's the shop as well. That's not just a suit. That's the service you get. That's the whole ambience you get when you come into Groom. Is you're going to find something that you like.
That's really good. I mean, I find for a bloke trying on a suit, it's never a one-man operation. So I never feel comfortable just kind of going to Next, and they wouldn't fit me anyway. But even is trying on a jacket, and I often find it when Vic's tailoring stuff for me is, or when I've been here and we bought suits from you, is when you're trying on a jacket, you kind of need to know how that looks at the back. You need to know how it's pulling in.
And you can't do that, can you?
No, you can't tell.
You haven't got eyes on the back of your head.
We did a suit recently, and Vic took a picture of the back. When we were doing the suit here, she had to take a picture of my back for me, just to kind of show how your shoulders look in that, how that pulls in at the back. And you're never going to be able to work that out on your own and know whether you can only look down and look in a mirror and go, yeah, I'll look okay.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
We've got the advice, so if we see something that we think, that could be improved, like
Yeah.
tailoring a jacket, we'll tell you what we think. We'll give you our advice. If you choose not to take it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But we'll always give you our advice on how we think it should look.
Well, you're looking for the areas where things are going to pull and where they're not quite fitting right, or where they're too much over on the shoulder, and all that stuff that as blokes we're just not tuned into anyway.
No, a lot of guys don't know how a suit should fit.
No.
So they'll come in and they'll try a jacket on, and it's too big, and they're saying, "Oh, it's really comfortable."
Yeah.
Well, it's comfortable because it's too big for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we go down a size, it fits better, but a lot of the time they'll be pulling their arms and saying, it's a little bit tight.
Yeah.
But we'll give them that advice that this is how a suit should fit. Have a look in the mirror. You can see it's too baggy in your arms. You can see it's too loose on your waist. Most of the time they'll listen.
The classic one you get is they come in, they go, "It's too short." You're not going to walk around with your hands in the air, are you? You measure us when it's a jacket when it's by your side.
Yeah.
Not when you're up in the air like this.
Yeah.
And the other one they go is, "It's too tight."
Yeah.
You're not walking around like that
No,
either,
you're
are
not
you?
going to do any of that.
No.
Yeah.
You don't do
You-
that.
It's a very
Yeah.
limited range of movement in a good suit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that I don't think men know how a suit should fit on you. I don't think we know what that should even look like, to be fair, because it's just not something we get as an everyday education. No. I mean, we shoot a lot of weddings where people can't tie a tie. And, I tied a tie when I was back in school, and you just kind of get used to it. You've got that memory of it. Then ask somebody to do a Windsor knot. Ask somebody to do a bow tie. Ask somebody to do, and it's just not something, because we don't live in the world of, let's just say, lords and ladies and gentlemen anymore, kind of thing.
And it sounds silly. That's such a little thing, how to tie a tie. But when you come in here, every single staff member ties the tie for you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to tie your tie. We'll come, and if you want your tie time for your wedding, we'll pop it in the bag for you pre-tied. So all you've got to do is pop it over your neck, and that's all done
That'd
for
be
you.
so much more.
So that's-
Wednesday
yeah.
for
It
us.
is.
Seriously.
That's the experience you want though from a suit shop.
It's the little things, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to be able to come in and you want somebody else to impart that knowledge onto you, because as much as we don't want to admit it, we don't really know what we're doing as blokes when it comes to suits. We think we do, but we don't.
No.
Because it's not part of our everyday etiquette to wear, unless you wear a suit for work every day. But even then, at some point, when you first bought that suit, that was probably fitted for you.
Yeah.
Somebody came and gave you advice on how that should be sitting on you. So it's just something that I think maybe a bit of ego and pride in that as well for us to, I know what I'm doing.
On that point, if you're wearing a navy suit every day for work and everything,
Yeah.
they'll naturally gravitate to something different for the wedding day.
Yeah.
Right.
So they might feel comfortable in a navy suit. That's great, and a navy suit looks great on everyone.
Yeah.
But we would always recommend you go for a slightly different suit for your wedding day.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a navy suit for your wedding day and you're in a navy suit for work, what's special about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to ask, I probably know the answer. What's the most popular suit that ends up getting hired?
Navy blue.
Every time.
Every time, is it?
And it will
just,
be.
people just gravitate towards the
Every
navy
time.
stuff.
We've just got a new green suit that's just come out for hire, which is
Right.
really popular.
Yeah.
So that's really taken off. The colour
Yeah.
green, it's unbelievable.
It's not
Over
an
the last
in-your-face
18
green.
months. No, it's a
No,
nice
No,
It's
green.
green.
weirdly, we had. I see it a lot in like Mother of the Bride dresses where greens are really kind of like popular colour to go for. But I had a green suit jacket in Tuscany. Which was a really interesting look to kind of go with. It just kind of broke it up completely. What sort of colours do you recommend people have when they have their wedding abroad? What do you normally kind of
A lot
recommend
of
for
sort
them?
of beige suits, really.
Beige suits,
We do a very
yeah.
nice beige suit that also comes in like a sky blue, a few
Yeah.
different other colours. Light, really. That's what
Yeah.
people want.
I
They
like
want a
nice
light
light
suit.
colours
Yeah, they
for-
don't
for
want
getting
like
married, right.
nobody gets married abroad in a black suit
No.
unless it's a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, light colours, light fabric.
We do see tuxes abroad. It does,
Yeah.
it does
Yeah.
happen.
Popular, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 They look
Yeah.
hot, but they do it.
You can wear the braces and you've just got your trousers and your shirt and your braces on then, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've not got all the warmth of the tweed and everything like that.
Yes.
For abroad, we probably recommend a solid colour, so either it's a light cream or
Right.
a beige or a sky blue or something like that. I wouldn't recommend the bold, checks, and because
Yeah.
they usually are tweed anyway, to be fair.
Right,
When
okay.
you're the bold checks and everything like that.
Yeah. So for 2025, is there any trends at the moment that you see for this year?
Green
Green,
is popular.
yeah.
Yes. I would say over the last 18 months, it's just really sort of taken off.
Yeah.
We do a really nice green check suit. Groom quite often wears a cream waistcoat underneath it.
Right,
But
okay.
the rest of the guys in a three-piece green suit.
Okay.
What else is popular? Silver grey. We're doing a lot of now.
Tuxes,
okay.
and with 2035, it's only been 2-3 weeks in now.
Yeah, I know.
Tuxes have been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since last year, sort of summer last year,
Yeah.
all everyone wants is tuxes.
That's what we see a lot of.
tuxes.
Yeah.
Tuxes are in.
And a new style as well is the shoulder lapel. So it's quite a popular one at the minute. So the peak lapel is your classic arrow straight in,
Yeah.
and you've got the shoulder lapel, which is sort of a rounded collar,
Right.
and that's been a lot more popular because it's a tuxedo.
Yeah.
But it's a slightly more modern and it's slightly different to a
Right.
standard tux because everyone comes in and goes, oh, it's a black tux, great.
Yeah.
I've seen people get married in that all the time.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
where the differences are: the difference in the waistcoat, the difference in the lapel.
Yeah.
That's your little
That's
subtle
the little
differences.
variations. So with your Groom brand that you're going to be launching, is it already launched? Is it already out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's going to give you more flexibility then, isn't it, for when you're tailoring stuff for destination weddings? You'll be able to have a different range of colours that kind of suit for that.
Yep.
And then were you going to be? I know you're going to try and tune into the latest fashions on a lot of stuff, but in terms of designs, are you going to try and focus just on the designs that you see the most popular of? You was talking then about
Yeah.
the different variations you have. Is that something you're going to keep in stock for? You're going to, or is that?
So we try not to follow trends, to be honest
Yeah.
with you, because what we
Yeah.
do is weddings a couple of years in advance.
Yeah.
And trends can just either come up and come straight back down again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want something that's consistent, like a tux.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your cream's always going to be consistent.
Yeah.
So a
And your
cream
navy blues.
and
Yeah.
your navy blues
Yeah.
and even the greens now, they've been around for years now, and they're still popular.
Yeah.
So I don't see that as a trend, to be honest with you. I just see it as a
Right.
as a new
okay.
suit that people
Yeah.
like, and it's a little bit different to your navy. You've got a couple of options, and you've got your tux, you've got your navy, you've got your cream. You've got sort of 4 options there you can go for, and from those 4 options, you have different waistcoats and things.
Right.
And we can always, see a new trend's coming in,
Yeah.
and we can act upon it and go for a different waistcoat or anything.
Yeah.
The Naples suit we've got in at the minute, so we've just got that in the cream,
Right.
and that's a Groom brand.
Yeah.
We've got samples coming in a dark green, a navy,
Wow.
and a black as well. So we are going into having a couple of different options for everyone. And from there, you can go different waistcoats. You can mix and match trousers, jackets.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're not setting a three-piece in a block colour.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's something you'll have control of as well, won't you? Because you'll be able to pick those colour tones where you'll be able to mix and match more, I would have thought, than what you're just kind of being supplied with at the moment. You'll be able to make better decisions that'll give you more flexibility and that kind of stuff.
It's nice for the groom as well to have those options, like Hugo's saying about mixing and matching the waistcoat.
Yeah.
The groom will normally mix and match the waistcoat, and the other guys will have a three-piece suit.
Right.
And it's the waistcoat that's going to make the groom stand out on the wedding day, and on the pictures, as you obviously see day to day. And then keeping the tie maybe the same colour throughout, and it's just the groom's waistcoat just giving him that little bit of an edge on everybody else in the wedding party.
Well, one of my favourite shoots we did was a same-sex couple shoot, and there's a couple of grooms. And the suture supply, I think, I don't know where they are now, but they've probably moved on in terms of style, but it was having that two kind of light-coloured suits, but they were obviously two grooms, so they were different suits. But there was just these common elements back and forth between them that tied them together.
It's all the
That made the
tones,
difference.
wasn't it? It was lovely.
Yeah, it was. There was something about it that just together it worked really, really well. Individually, they were great suits anyway, but it's not something you see very often. Normally, you just kind of see a very kind of straightforward suit, and they'll just get two of them.
And that's what you got to think about as well. You've got to think what the photo is going to look like.
Yeah.
Whether you're bride and groom or whatever, groom, whatever.
Yeah.
You've got to think how my picture's going to look.
Yeah.
And that's what we'll help you with, because that's not initially something you come in and think,
No.
oh, I need to think exactly how my pocket square is going to match.
Yeah.
And that's the advice we'll give to you. We'll say, I would personally wear that tie, so you can match in with all your groomsmen and you can all look uniform. But it's, as men especially, it's not something I'd initially come in and think, oh, let me think about what colour my tie is going to be to match that. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that
we're
way,
not
does
good
it?
on colour palettes and tie matching and things along those
We
lines.
are.
No, totally go. You are.
You guys are.
That's why we come to you.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that in the shop yourselves, and I quite like the idea that you've gone and you've actually put as many suits out as possible dressed with what they should look like on a wedding day. And when we came in looking for what you were going to wear for the christening, for our little man Ethan, it was a case of, well, what pocket scarves do you want? You know, it was all the different changes that we could
It's
make.
the vision,
just
isn't
to
it?
suit.
You've got to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got so many TVs set up. We've got so many mannequins there. Because they come in and go, oh, I like that. And then they go to the hanger and they go, I don't like that suit.
And sometimes
But that's not how it's going to. That's not how it's going to look on yourself.
Yeah.
It's going to look much better than it will on a hanger.
Well, it's overwhelming for a bloke to know what they want, to know how it's going to look, and how it's going to fit. So your ego tends to take over, and you go, "Oh yeah, I know what that's going to be. I know what I'll just leave that till last minute. It'll be fine. I'll just go get that off the shelf. It's no problem." Not to be able to give yourself over to the process. I say, trust the people who do this every day.
Yep.
They're going to be able to take a look at you and see what's going to work. And if you tell them what your wedding's a little bit what it's going to be like, or get your partner to tell them, they'll find the tones that are going to match that for you. And you can see that just with the way everything's kind of set out. You can kind of see it's easy enough for them to kind of go, that'll match that. That'll work with that.
You can see how much range we've got, can't you?
Exactly.
All the ties, we've got hundreds of ties. So we can know, you can show me a bridesmaid, a swatch of the bridesmaid's dress, and I'll find you something that's identical.
And that's all you need. You just need that common element, don't you, to tie all those colours together.
It's only got to be little.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in your face. You've got to have the same suit as the colours of the bridesmaids. It doesn't work like that. It's just got to be something that ties the pictures
everything together.
As well as that, it's not just, like we were saying before, about if you went into a shop to, you know, one of the ones on the high street. It's, you could go in there, you could try on a couple of suits, and you'd probably get really agitated and go, this doesn't fit, I don't know what this is meant to look like, and you walk out feeling really miserable because, like we said, you don't fit into ordinary shops. But when you came here, you enjoyed the whole process. You came out and you were so happy, and you were like, yeah, that's what shopping should be.
That's what we like to have a laugh with our brides and grooms as well.
It should be that you can come in here and someone's going, no, right, you look great in that, but if you put this on, you'll look even better. If we do this, it changes your whole look. And you can see the lift that a person gets from it. You came out buzzing from it.
Yeah, because it's service, isn't it? It's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not all looking for that pretty woman moment where, you know, people are going to come out with all these different outfits and go this way. Yeah, a little bit. But you just want somebody who knows what they're talking about to be able to come over and be be able to solve those problems for you. And
that's a friendly approach we have.
Yeah,
Well,
and that service, and it's super
we
comfortable the whole way through, and never felt at any point that somebody's talking down to you, or kind of, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do this, or this isn't going to work. It was very much, they felt like they were on your side. This is the problem you've got. Let's solve it. This will work best for you. This will suit you. And just be willing to take that advice and lean into it.
Definitely.
And, you know, I think there was a couple of suggestions that we made. They explained to you why that's not going to work for someone of your frame or someone of your size. And it was very nicely done. Really, really nicely done. It was a good process. I enjoyed it.
Good.
So when it comes to like group pictures, every now and then we see like a slight variation in groom suits and things along those lines. Does that come from your inspiration here? Do you normally recommend that, to have like a slight difference between the groom and the groomsman, so they don't all just blend in together?
Definitely, yeah. We do quite a few suits where we'll sell a suit to the groom, and it might be a beige suit.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the wedding party will have a nice navy blue suit with the same beige waistcoat as the groom.
That's nice.
So the waistcoat for the groomsman, best man, dads, and everybody's matching the groom's suit.
Yeah.
So it really makes the groom stand out. He's got a nice cream suit. They've got a cream suit to match, and then maybe a tie to match in with the bridesmaids' dresses.
Yeah.
To sort of tone everything together. So
like that.
sort of photo then would all be matching. The bridesmaids are going to be matching the ties.
Yeah.
The guy's waistcoat's going to be matching the groom. So it all sort of blends together, and it looks like you put some thought into it.
Yeah, that's really good. That it's nice to have that from our point of view as photographers. It's nice to have that little bit of separation between the groom and the groomsman. Just a little bit. It only needs to be subtle.
Yeah,
just something that makes them kind of stand out from the crowd, so to speak.
I mean, we'll have some grooms that will want everybody in the same suit, the same waistcoat. Yeah. So in that sense, what we'd say to them is maybe just have a different tie.
Yeah.
Put the guys in a plain tie. If it was a champagne tie, we've got a plain champagne tie.
Yeah.
We do a paisley champagne tie for the groom, just to make him stand out that little bit. And maybe have a different buttonhole, something a little bit bigger with a little bit more detail.
Right.
And then we do the little chains on the waistcoats as well for the groom.
That's
So
cool.
a little fob chain, just little finishing touches just to make him stand out a little bit.
So, do you, when the groom comes in and you have those little like watches and chains and all those kind of things, do you give them a little kind of tutorial on how they work?
Yes,
and,
definitely.
We forever see, forever see people not know how they work. Yeah.
And like tying ties, as you said before, we'll ask a bride and groom, do you want us to pre-tie the ties for you?
Yeah.
So everybody's got them on the wedding day and they're all the same
great.
knot.
Oh, so they can come all pre-tied and ready to... Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. I just thought it was in the shop. I didn't realise you can...
No, we'll do that.
Kind of ready.
Do whatever you want.
Do you know, I wish more people would shop here, because the amount of Windsor knots that we end up having to do for people just... I bet
that's part of the job, isn't it? Now you've almost got to just tie it.
Unfortunately, yeah, because, I mean, I'm not so good at them. I've got colleagues who are much better at them, but between bow ties and Windsor knots, they just trip people up all the time.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys can pre-tie those ties for them on request is really, really good. That's really helpful.
It's all on the Instagram as well, so if you want to learn how to tie Windsor knot, we've all got tutorials on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, everything. So it's all on there. If a groom goes, I forgot, just log on to Groom and we'll...
So that would be one of your top tips then, to go onto the Groom Instagram
and
look at how you tie your type of tie, so whether it be a Windsor knot or a bow tie, and practice.
Definitely practice, because it does take a couple of attempts.
It does.
You're not just going to put it on and go, oh, great, I'm done now, that's it.
Yeah.
It does take a bit of fiddling and a bit of, once you've got it right, and it's up here, it's fine. You're all sorted.
That's the one thing that can delay the morning of,
Yes.
is the fact they're all faffing around with ties, because they haven't put
It's meant to be the bride that's late, not the groom.
Yeah,
So
that's right, yeah.
You also get the difference of, we noticed it a lot, that the men will used to tie in a tie all the time, some of the older gentle, and they'll tie it, and then there's somebody who they're wearing waistcoats and they haven't realised the length of the tie, and it's sticking out at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's that whole, you need to retie it, and they're like, well, this is the way I've always done it. It's like, no, you've
Throws
got
them off.
Yeah, it's like, it needs to be shorter. So, yeah, we do have a lot of that happens.
I feel like there needs to be a valet service that just comes out with each wedding and just kind of gets these lads ready, tidied in the morning.
There you are.
The worst thing is a loose tie that's not actually pulled up to the top of the collar.
Yes.
I mean, that must happen a lot on wedding days.
No, it does happen a lot.
But we do tell people to make sure you've got your tie up.
Yeah.
And
You must
obviously
see a lot of
enjoy
that.
it.
We do when we do group photos. I think part of what we get paid to do is to make sure that they're done right, and that means we do a quick flower check on everyone, just make sure that everything's not drooped, make sure everyone's ties are looking good, hands are in the right places, and you're either all tucked in, you're either all buttoned up or you're not all buttoned up, just so it's all kind of uniform.
And we would always recommend unbuttoned your jackets, because you got the waistcoats. Usually it's a contrasting waistcoat underneath.
Yeah.
So we'd always recommend keep your jacket open.
Yeah.
And then you've got your waistcoat to show as well, and it just makes the photos look nicer. Because if you have got a contrasting waistcoat, like Dan said, you've got the cream waistcoat to match the groom's suit.
Yeah.
If you can't see it, what's the point in wearing it?
Yeah, no, show it off.
I have a question for you. What's your preference when you see somebody stood in a suit and they're just posing for themselves? Hand in a pocket or not in a pocket?
I'm indifferent. I like a bit of both, to be honest. I like the hand in the pocket.
I think it looks good, hand in pocket.
Yeah.
Because
One in,
what
one
else
out.
is it going to be? You're a bit nervous, aren't you?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know what to do with you.
It almost looks natural, doesn't it, when you've got your hand in
Yeah.
your pocket? It's sort of like you're not thinking about it. Whereas a lot of, obviously not your photos, but a lot of photographers for weddings, they almost look like, I'm here for a photo,
Yeah.
rather than it
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
natural.
Or penalties.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
all stood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than it being natural and what's actually going on. I'm sure in the photos you get the odd one wearing white socks as well.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of photos where you got one groomsman
Yeah.
wearing white socks, or even worse, pin socks.
Yeah. It boils down to the fact that as men, we just don't know how to wear suits well. And one of the things we try to show people when they're doing group photos, and it takes a minute, is when you put your hand in your pocket, is you need to, because they'll go, put your hand in your pocket, and they just put it in the pocket. Take your hand out your pocket, brush your jacket back first,
Oh, the jacket
then put your hand in
all
your pocket,
creased and
then
everything.
pull that little bit through,
Yeah.
and it'll
Yeah.
sit correctly, and you have those lines. What we always say to grooms is, and for other people, is people will come to you. So don't lift your arms up and try and put them round like you're doing a rugby scrum, because it'll change the lines of your suit. You stand with your hand in your pocket, again, with your jacket done correctly. Mum can put their arm through you. And people come to you.
It's much
So-
easier to do it in a dress than a suit, because otherwise you've got your hands in the air and your whole jacket's open, and it just ruins the point of wearing a suit, because you just look like a mess.
And it works for the women as well. We always say to them, if you keep your hands on your flowers, let people come to you. Don't you be putting your arms out.
Yeah.
And for the gentleman, you need to put your arm round the bride, under the veil,
Yeah.
round the waist, under the veil. And that way, if you're putting your hand round people's waist, it doesn't lift those lines of the suits.
Exactly.
And you don't get those kind of weird looks from it. But all that kind of stuff, that little bit of TLC during group photos of how to have your hand in your pocket and how to have how to brush it back first and where to have your arms, it does make a big difference, and it does change how that's going to look, because all that effort you guys have made, and then they just lift their
Goes
arms
out the
up,
window,
and then it
doesn't
goes
it?
out the
Yeah.
window.
Terrible,
Yeah.
Or they put loads of bulky stuff in their pockets.
Phone,
Oh,
yeah.
the
Mobile
winds
phone,
up
yeah.
when you got your phone in your pocket, and
Yeah.
just put it in your jacket.
Put it
Yeah.
in your
I can
jacket.
see it in
There's
your
a
pocket.
reason why.
I know.
There's so many
Oh.
pockets as well.
Yeah.
Or speeches, they're like, I've got to carry my speech. Or the worst is when they're carrying the rings in
And
a
it's
big bulky
bulging out,
box.
yeah.
And you think, why?
So there's a line we say to all the gentlemen when we do the group shots, that gentlemen, there should only be one bulge. No. Mobile phones in your back pockets, keys in your back pockets when you're having your group photos done, and then we'll take care of the rest. And that way you're not ruining the lines of your suit, because you've got these amazing suits that you guys have sorted for them, and then they'll have their arms in the wrong place, or they'll have stuff in their pockets, and it's just all gone out the window. These luxurious suits, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't make for a good photo.
No, it does
No,
not. It does not
it
make
does
for a good photo. Yeah, only one bulge.
Yeah, only one bulge.
Keep that in
If
mind.
you're lucky.
It's a good. Well, that's the thing. As soon as we say, because there's so many jokes we have to go through. People will say, right, just let's put your hands in your own trouser pockets for me, and then turn that way. And they like the little, don't be putting your hand in my pocket and all that kind of stuff. And again, you'll get that. I said that to a groom once who had his mobile phone in his pocket, and I said, listen, there should only be one bulge. Take that phone out, pop it in your back pocket. And the bride made some off the quiff joke. He said, bulge. That's it. Surrounded by all of his groomsmen.
Poor fella.
Poor fella. The colour just sank out of his face, unfortunately.
So you've obviously spoke about how the groom can stand out wearing a different waistcoat or different accessories, or just making that slight change. Do you get many men that come in and decide that they want a change of jacket in the evening? Because sometimes we see the cream tuxedo jackets.
Yeah,
don't we?
it's happened a few times, yeah.
Yeah.
Where we've done maybe just like a standard tuxedo for the day, nice black tux, and then maybe they've gone for a velvet jacket in the evening with a bit of colour to it.
Second look
Nice.
for the evening.
Yeah. We do a lot of velvet jackets in different colours, so we can do a lot to match the bridesmaids' dresses. We do sage green,
That's
bottle
cool.
green, red, burgundy, so lots of different colours.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice for them to sort of tone in a little bit with that.
'cause-
The bride gets to do it, don't they?
Yeah,
So why not?
exactly.
I think it's
that,
only
yeah.
fair when you have brides having a second look that groom should have a second
Sometimes a
look.
third look, don't they?
Yeah, no, it's true. There's a lot more out there for the bride, obviously. So yeah, I felt a bit sorry for the men. So yeah.
If
I'm glad
David
they get
Beckham
something
didn't
else.
do it, anybody can, can't they?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get many people that you see, like, say, I don't know, whatever's in the social media at the time, say a new suit comes out or somebody's wearing something, a footballer or, I
Loads.
don't know, like you say, a famous person will come along and you see something and you go, oh, we're going to get a lot of people coming in for that. And you
Yeah.
Peaky
realise...
Blinders, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I've never seen. We didn't do a lot of Tweed before that.
Yeah.
Peaky
Yeah.
Blinders comes on the show. All right. tweeds everywhere.
Yeah.
Endless tweet.
Yeah, endless tweed.
Every
Black
phone
caps.
call
Yeah.
when it was on was, do you do Peaky Blinders suits?
Right.
Every single phone call, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Luckily, you do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Flat
And the
caps
hats, the
and
whole
everything.
thing. Yeah, flat
exactly.
caps. Yeah.
David Beckham went to the royal wedding in a navy tailcoat. And the amount
Yeah.
of people that will come in with this picture of David Beckham in this suit with a grey waistcoat,
Yeah.
it was just crazy for like 2 years. Do you do this? Of course we do, yeah.
So whenever there's like a royal wedding or something going on now, you're like, right, we need to watch that.
Yeah,
We
we're
We
know
had a
what's
royal
coming.
wedding this year, didn't we?
We
Yeah.
did.
So
yeah.
in Chester. So.
Do you keep an eye on that sort of stuff then? Do you keep an eye on those kind of events and you go, I think that's going to be a thing? You watch.
You
we'll get
need
lots of
to,
these
don't you?
calls,
You
yeah.
need to know what's coming. Because
Yeah.
if you don't know what's coming, you've got no idea.
All
do
of
you?
a sudden you got an influx of.
But yeah, he
orders from
bought
these.
black tails, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously we've seen a few more black tails coming in. We don't do massive for weddings, but
Yeah.
anyone that we do, it changes every year. So as you say, David Beckham, we did a load of navy tails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year we've done a load of black tails, and it does change. We can do loads of different waistcoats as well to go with them, so it does change year on year, and it
Yeah.
depends what the celebrities are wearing.
Yeah.
Because we like to, as soon as we see what celebrities
We
are
all do
wearing,
it, don't
yeah,
we?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all copy.
Because they always look the best in them, don't they? That's the annoying thing. You put it
Yeah.
on, it's not quite the same.
Yeah. So if I came in and there's a suit that I can't see on the shelf that's not quite me, and you can't see something that's not quite me, but I've got something in mind, can you get something that's not on the shelf?
Yes,
That's
so
not here?
we've got a bespoke range that
Right.
we do. Quite a few hundred different cloths. Not that expensive, starting
Okay.
at £400.
It's 350, I think it is.
350,
now.
there you go.
So,
Just went
Yeah.
down.
350 suit, yeah. You can choose your cloth, your lining, your buttons. You can have it embroidered with your wedding date on
Oh,
or
wow.
your
That
name.
really is
Wow.
bespoke,
So
isn't
really,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
people can really go to town
So
on
I
it.
can come to you with a picture, and you could make that suit essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're doing more and more of them, and even if it's just a jacket, so that you want to go in navy pants and a navy waistcoat,
Yeah.
and you want a slightly different jacket that nobody else has, and they
Right.
want to make it their own, we can do that for you, not a problem.
Oh, amazing.
Same with shirts. We do bespoke shirts as well.
Oh,
So you can have
okay.
your initials on the cuff and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's
so
that's really popular.
for your
That's
wedding
really
day, yeah, you
nice.
can have your wedding date on there again.
Yeah. So you can get your initials and your wedding date on the
Yeah,
cuff of the shirt.
yeah.
That's
Can you
perfect.
do that on, say, if you bought just one of these jackets here, could you get that done on? You sometimes see it at the bottom of the collars and
Just on the bespoke at the moment.
just on the
Yeah,
bespoke, yeah.
yeah.
Do you get to choose all the lining and everything?
On the
with
bespoke, yeah,
stuff?
yeah, loads of linings to pick
Yeah.
from. Some just sort of plain linings, reds, and the popular colours that you'd match
Yeah.
the bridesmaids' dresses.
Oh, okay,
But then
yeah.
there's some really wacky patterned
Yeah.
fabrics as well. So yeah,
Again, this ties into the time frame as well. So if we
Yeah.
haven't got the time, you can throw it out the window.
Yeah.
If you come in and say, I really, really want this, but you've given me 2 months to do it,
Okay.
it's not going to happen.
So I
Whereas
come
if
in and I want a bespoke suit,
Yep.
and I want to choose my own fabric, choose my own buttons. I want initials on the cuffs of my sleeve, and I want the wedding date and all those things. How long should I leave it before I come in?
Well, it's in that 12 to 14 months.
12 to
Okay.
14
If you-
months.
12 to
Okay.
14 months, we can do anything you want.
Okay.
So if you say I want this and I want it exactly how I want to do it, and that's how it's going to be, that's fine.
Perfect.
We've got the time then to do whatever you want to do.
Right. Okay.
Whereas if we get a couple coming in 5-6 months in advance
Yeah.
saying I want this,
Yeah.
it's never a no unless something's out of stock.
Yeah.
But you never know whether it will be in stock.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So everyone getting married in summer 2026 should be coming in
Summer 2025 at
summer
least,
2025
latest.
at the
Yeah.
latest. Right.
What alterations can you make to one of the suits if you buy it?
So if you buy a suit and you pick it off the shelf and it doesn't quite fit, but
Yeah.
we're not a million miles off, we'll sort that for you. So trouser length, we can nip in the jacket, we can taper trousers, taper sleeves, whatever you want to do really. We take
Yeah.
up sleeves, it's not a problem because we'll make that purchase suit fit you like a bespoke suit
Brilliant.
without the price.
So obviously everyone's a different shape and size. Some people are tall, some people are short, some people are slim, some people are not slim. What can you accommodate for?
so our suits come in different fits. They come in short, regular, and long jackets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can accommodate tall people such as yourself,
Yeah.
and the shorter guy. The adult suit sizes go from a size 34 chest up to a size 64 on average.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can do a bespoke range, as we mentioned,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we've done up to size 88
Wow.
chest.
Brilliant.
So there's nobody we can't fit a suit for.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Everyone.
fit everybody.
Everyone.
That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
Very inclusive.
Provided we have the time frame. If we
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
again, if we don't have the time frame, we can't do it.
Which is
Yeah.
12 to 14 months.
I know it's 6 to 8 then. I don't know why.
12 to 14 months. We've got the time. We
Yeah.
know what you want, and it's usually there's one or two people in the party that are not the same size as everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we need the time to find exactly what
Yeah.
we need to do for them. They need to come in for a couple of fittings, and then we'll get them sorted.
Yeah.
But it's possible, provided we have the time.
Yeah,
Anything's possible.
That is the most important thing then. So for any bride is that they need to make sure if they're getting married, next summer they're getting their groom in the door now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as quick as we can.
Yeah, and you don't need to worry about which groomsmen you pick or how many,
No.
because you'll have something to cater for all
Correct.
of them.
And the more the grooms will look better on the photos. So if you've got 2 or 3 lads, it doesn't look as good as if you've got 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll see that on your photos as well.
So with your hire suits, obviously you said that they get a couple of days, don't they, to bring it back? It's 2 days, isn't it?
Yep.
Do you have anything that comes back in the suits any strange things?
Some very, very strange things.
Yeah.
Viagra.
Okay.
Bras.
Bras.
Yeah.
You've got the obvious, speeches and tissues and whatever. And we have a laugh on the Monday morning reading the speeches and everything.
Oh, do you?
Best
Yeah.
man speech is always the best one.
Yeah.
Paracetamol
Right.
or not paracetamol, we never know.
Yeah.
Never any money.
Aw.
No, it's out of order, isn't it? Never
I'm
a
sure
little
you'd
tip in
return.
there.
I'm sure you'd return it.
Oh,
Anyway
of course
if it
I
came
would.
through. Sure you would.
I feel sorry for whoever left the bra.
Well, I
feel sorry.
don't think it was theirs.
I feel sorry for the person who forgot their Viagra.
Yeah, true.
So, what's coming up in 2025?
So we've got a couple of things, to be honest with you. We've got the new Warrington shop. So
Yep.
we've been in the Warrington shop for over 30 years now. So I
Right.
think it's time for a bit of a change.
Okay.
Going to a much bigger shop, so it's about 3 times the size.
Oh, fantastic.
Because we've got too busy for the Warrington shop at the minute. It's the
Where
smallest.
does this shop sit in terms of like size of the shops you've got then?
So this currently is the biggest one,
Yep.
and it's on one floor, which helps.
Okay.
Okay.
Warrington is a little bit smaller, and it's sort of in a layout where it's 2 separate rooms rather
Okay.
than one shop. Whereas
Okay.
this flows, it doesn't quite.
It
flow.
does,
The
yeah.
new one is going to be 3 times the size, and it's all going to be one long corridor. So it's going to
Fantastic.
be linking into all the shops.
Oh, amazing. so
which
you'll be
is-
able to get the full groom range out there.
Exactly, yeah. So you'll have
really
the
good.
big, showroom at the front leading
Yeah.
into the fitting room, changing rooms, and then you'll have a bit at the back where all
Yeah.
all the storage goes on, all the magic happens.
Yeah.
So we've got the groom suits coming in this year. We've got
Yeah.
2 at the minute. So we've got the Ezra and we've got the Naples, a dinner suit and a cream suit. We're
Mm-hmm.
looking to have a green, a navy, and a black in the Naples,
Amazing.
and then we'll go into other, branches of suits and tweeds, whatever we want to do.
And,
at
and
that
these
time.
this is your brand.
Our
Your-
personal brand, yeah. So we're not. It's not going to be sold anywhere else. You're only going to find that in a groom store. So either Liverpool, Warrington, and Chester.
Fantastic.
You're not going to find it anywhere else.
That's amazing.
We've also got another exciting thing which me and Dan are in.
Yeah.
In September.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a TV show.
Okay.
I can't say the name of it.
All right.
Top
But
secret.
it's coming out in September.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
And it's to do with weddings, as you can imagine, with
Yeah.
what we do.
Wow.
I'll leave it at that though.
Oh,
Okay.
fantastic. Oh, we're looking forward to
Well,
seeing that.
I'll keep
yeah.
you guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll all on the socials, Instagram, TikTok. As soon as it comes out, it'll all be on there.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Well, we recommend any grooms be jumping on your socials anyway, because if
Yeah.
you've got those tutorials on how to tie things, and I'm sure you've got lots and lots of useful information about, what type of suits, work best, what colours and trend and things
Exactly,
like that. So,
and you can get to use all the team as well. So we've got the behind the scenes on the Instagram and the TikTok.
Yeah.
So you can see what really happens
Yeah.
rather than when you come in, you're in here for an hour and a half max.
Yeah.
You only see that small bit.
Yeah.
You don't see all the effort that goes into it. You don't see all the care
Yeah.
and all the the warehouse, all the staff in the warehouse trying to find
Yeah.
your suits, picking your suits, making sure they're spot on,
Yeah.
looking for any minor details.
Yeah.
You don't see that unless you're on the Instagram.
Nice. That's good. That.
So you must have some funny stories then.
I
Working in the
think
industry.
my favourite is it was a long time ago. A guy was getting married abroad,
Yeah.
and his best man came in a couple of weeks before his wedding and asked could he hire a separate pair of trousers for the groom that were 2 inches too small and 2 inches too short. And with it being a destination wedding, the groom, obviously, when he tried his trousers on, panicked, thinking, these
Yeah.
trousers are mine. What am I going to do? I can't just ring the shop up
Yeah.
and ask them to send me another pair of trousers out. And I think he left him sweating for about 10 minutes.
That's a good practical
Yeah,
joke. That.
yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
So it went down quite well in the end when he realised that he did have his proper pair
Yeah.
of trousers. I think he saw the funny side.
Oh, God.
But you panic, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That does bring me on to. I'm guessing you label everything up if you know everyone. If they tell you who's who.
Oh, yeah.
Because
every suit comes with an individual suit bag with a name on.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
every now and then we do get from other brands where they'll open stuff up and they're trying on pants and they go, oh, they're too small. They're not quite right. And they're all like trying to work out who's is who from how well everything fits.
And that is a top tip as well. I'd always say, so when you pick up your 7, 8 suits, 10 suits, whatever it is,
Yeah.
make sure when you take them home, you're not all trying them in one room. So you
Yeah.
don't say to your grooms, and all come round to around, we'll all try them on together.
Yeah.
And they
That's
go,
a
oh, look
brilliant
at my
tip. That's when
pants,
they
look
get
at my
mixed up.
pants, look at my
Yeah.
jacket.
Right.
One at a time, and put everything back in your bag with your name on. So when you wake up on the wedding day, it's all in the same way that you took it out from the shop.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah.
Really, really
Otherwise,
good.
that can go downhill.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And you get a ring on a Monday morning saying, I've got the wrong trousers, but so-and-so's are too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
Not too often, really.
Too often. Do you find you get a lot of repeat customers then? Because obviously we came here for a christening suit, and I'm guessing you must have people who, get married, and then after they get married, then obviously because they get a great service, they then come back and say, we're christening our son, or we're going to the race or something. Do you find you get a lot of repeat people coming back to you? Do you get to see the same faces?
Naturally, in the wedding industry, you don't get repeat customers that often. It does happen, but you don't get it that often.
Yeah. Well, certainly not getting married again, but
no,
they must want to come back to you for
it has
things.
happened.
Yeah.
Do they come back to you for the same
It
things?
has happened a couple times, yeah. But the thing we get a lot of recommendations.
Yeah.
So I had a party on Saturday where there's 6 of them. 4 of them have got married in the last 2 years from us.
Yeah.
So they all recommend us, and we've got the range when they come in here. They're not all wearing the same suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all got totally different looks and totally different ideas.
Yeah.
And that shows you the range we've got. We can do 4 weddings at the same party, and they've not got anything similar.
But that just goes to show how good the service is.
It does.
Yeah.
Because they're willing to come back.
70% of our future weddings come from recommendations.
That's amazing.
So obviously we do the marketing on social media and SEO, but it will never beat if someone comes in, they get great service, they go into the pub and go, where are you getting your wedding suits? I'd go there.
Yeah.
Because I've just had that amazing service.
Because they're being looked after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they come in here, they don't have to think about a thing.
And
You
it's
don't-
free, isn't it? Word of mouth. We're not paying for that advertising.
Yeah.
Not taking any time. It's literally word of mouth and yeah.
But that takes time and quality to build that up for
Yeah.
people to recommend you.
Yeah.
And you don't recommend people who are not good.
No.
You
It's
know.
the most effective way, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you wouldn't go to your mate over an okay service.
Yeah.
Let
But you're
me
putting your
tell
name
them.
on the line, aren't you?
Exactly.
When you say, go there, and how they're going to get treated is important to you.
And people are obviously willing to do that because
Yeah.
they know the service they've got.
Yeah.
And we've got loads and loads of weddings where they've been best man or they've been, bridesmaid, groomsman, whatever. And they've come in here and they've seen the service and they've thought, let me put him on it as well.
I agree that when I have my suit fitted, that I would always recommend Groom.
Good.
That must be nice for you though then when obviously say the best man suddenly getting married and the groom previous has come back in.
Yeah.
You obviously get to see them all over again. And then you must see, like you say, more people coming along that way. Do you ever get the little kids then that come in and you're suddenly thinking, right, you're a newbie. We'll have you in a few years' time, I suppose.
Yeah. And then prom suits as well from that.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
would
great
do.
to see the couples, we see them 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once we've done that, you've formed a relationship.
Yeah.
So any future times you see them, we get
We know them.
constant
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
coming in saying, I just need a jacket for this. Do you remember I came for a wedding suit? We're like, of course we remember.
So they can be here as
Yeah.
a small usher, and then they can come back for their prom
Yeah.
suit.
And then the wedding suits.
And then they can have their wedding suit, and then they can come back and get their christening suit.
Customers forever.
And then every now and then they can go to the races.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's a
I
lot
like
of
it.
suits.
It's a
And
lot
we'll
of
be
suits.
here for everything.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of destination weddings. They often come up, places like France and Italy and things along those lines. And we get a lot of those kind of amazing colours that you can see behind you. Where do you find that people end up going to with your suits?
I mean, we're doing more and more abroad weddings. So obviously
Yeah.
you got your France, you got your Italy. People are venturing further.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Barbados, Caribbean, that sort of thing.
Yeah. What would
and
you recommend if you're getting married in that kind of part of the world?
You've got to go lightweight, haven't you? You
Yeah.
can't go something
Yeah.
too heavy, otherwise you will be sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd always recommend wherever you go for
Yeah.
a 3-piece.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you take your jacket off, you've still got your waistcoat on, so you're still looking smart.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will go, I'll be lighter in a 2-piece.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not the case because you're going to take your jacket off anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still
You'll
look
just
smart.
look, you'll just
And now
look
you just
a
go in
little bit
shirt and
scruffy. Yeah,
trousers.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not what we'd recommend. So
Yeah.
I'd go something lightweight, beige, stick to your light colours, sky blue.
Yeah.
Don't go anything too dark because it'll attract the sun and it's not what you want when you're
Yeah.
in somewhere like that.
Yeah.
But where are you doing next year, eh?
So we've got Barcelona, Tuscany, and
South of France, isn't it?
South France.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should see a complete mix of different colours there. Unfortunately, we haven't had the opportunity to go to the Caribbean to shoot a wedding yet, but I've no doubt you could cater for it. I've no doubt it would look awesome.
Hire or purchase, we can do it for you.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem.
But just to recap then, so if you're going abroad, how long when do we contact you to get a suit fitted? So it's 12 to 14
months. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
initial one.
That's fine.
And then the fittings will work the same. So we'll do the 8 months
Okay.
before for the hire, 6 months before for any purchase
Yeah.
suits. So we want to keep it as simple as possible. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know, obviously, you've got numbers thrown around, and that's just one thing. Obviously, you've got your dress, you've got your flowers.
Yeah.
We want to keep it as simple as possible. So it's 12 to 14 months, 6 months for a purchase,
Yeah.
8 weeks for hire.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as it's going to
And
be.
then if you're hiring a suit for the Caribbean, you've got it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You can have it for as long as you're 2-3 weeks, whatever you want to do it for.
Just
That's
take the
not a
Viagra
problem.
out your pockets.
Exactly,
Come
yeah.
back and-
Make
Leave
sure,
the
yeah,
cash.
make sure you take everything out.
So when it comes to appointment times, are you guys quite flexible or?
Yeah, I mean, we'll work. If you've got a time saying, I need it to be this date and this time, we'll
Yeah.
try our best to. Obviously, we're not going to say 100% we can do it,
Yeah.
but we'll try our best to, work around it. And that leads on to the staff thing.
Yeah.
So we've got numerous staff in each shop
Yeah.
that we can cater for on a Saturday. You've
Yeah.
been in here on a Saturday, you
Yeah.
know what it's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
can be frantic, but we've got the staff to deal with that. And that's the thing about caring. And
Yeah.
if we didn't care, we just put one staff member and sort of pick your own suit off and try it on, and that's not how it works.
Serve yourself, yeah.
Every single person in the shop will have a member of staff that they're dealing with
Yeah.
at that time. So they'll be helping them kind of get their shirt for you. Do you want to try on a shirt? Do you want to try on a
Yeah.
tie? And that's the service thing around. We're not just going to go, there's a suit, go try it on. Because that's not how it works.
What surprised me was when we called to book in the podcast and get the time right. Said, is there a day that you're not open? So we can, we can come on that day. No, we're open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas Day you could have come.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
We're a
there's
bit busy
literally
that day.
Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
They're the only days we're closed all year.
But that's brilliant.
That's
To be
brilliant,
open
though.
7 days a week, though, that's especially for guys as well. That's super flexible
Yeah.
because people work in all sorts of different kind of shifts to be able to come in after work and on any kind of day and come in on the weekend, and especially on Sundays as well. There's a lot of places that are just kind of closed on random days, and
Yeah.
you feel
Yeah.
it just takes away that availability, doesn't
Well,
it? And
exactly.
especially when you're pushing on people. Listen, 12, 14 months before you need to be coming in. The fact that
Yeah.
you're open 7 days a week, there's no excuse.
No,
No, there
definitely
isn't.
not.
Yeah.
And we get to see those moments where everyone comes together at once.
Yeah.
So you get to see, for the fitting, all the groomsmen, they
Yeah.
all want to see each other. And if it's, selected days that they can't do,
Yeah,
we're not just going to turn around and say, no, we can't do that case
Yeah.
because we're closed. We want everyone to come in at once and them to all
so
feel
you
the
do
same
like an
experience.
appointment kind of system-ish, don't you, for that kind
Yeah,
of stuff?
definitely.
Everything
Yeah.
needs an appointment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ideally.
If you turned up with 6 guys without an appointment and somebody else turned up with 6 guys without an appointment,
You'd have a problem, yeah.
Yeah.
well, yeah, everybody'd have a problem.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
So
That's
everything we
chaos.
would say, if you're coming in, book an appointment, whether it's for your first fit, whether it's for an initial look,
Right.
just have a little browse around.
Yeah.
Because we can then plan out the day,
Yeah.
plan out how many staff we've got, so every single person that comes in gets
Yeah.
the same experience. And that's what we want,
Perfect.
whether you get the fitting or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, anyone that walks in, we're gonna help them as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah.
The
If we've got-
priority
if
is
we've got exactly the priority is for the appointments.
Yeah.
If we've got 20 people in the shop and there's 2 members of staff,
Yeah.
and someone comes in with 11 groomsmen, can I get fitted?
Yeah.
The reality is we can't do it because
But that's not on
them.
you. That's on if you want a good experience, and it's like with a restaurant. If you just turn up, there is a possibility you might
Yep.
get
Yeah.
a table. But if you want a good experience and you want time with somebody, then you at least need to call up and book a slot.
Exactly.
And then when you do that, you'll get access to somebody who'll walk you through everything and get you the service that you
Yeah.
expect.
Definitely.
I'm sure most brides know that when they go to a bridal shop, they have to book an appointment.
Yes.
So it's only the same thing.
Yes.
We just ask people, give us a call, send us an email, book an appointment, and you'll get that service that you want.
And I'm guessing that because of the time that you guys are open, that there is a lot of flexibility. So say if one of the groomsmen can't come on one of those days, he can come separately.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Problem.
So
We
it's-
don't mind if it's one big group or individually,
Yeah.
as long as there's an appointment.
Yeah.
Or even on a weekday, even if we got a call the day before, please can I
Yeah.
get in tomorrow? We'll find our way to do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you walk in, no appointment, nothing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it does become a little bit difficult
Yeah.
for us, especially because it's
That's good
you know,
though to know that. Like if I was a groomsman, then if I can't make it with the rest of the lads because
Yeah.
you're working weird shifts, all I got to do is come in and say, listen, I'm part of John's wedding party.
Yep.
It's on this date. Can I come in and get my
And that's a
stuff?
bugbear. You wouldn't imagine the amount of people that call up and give their own name. And we're looking through paperwork. I can't find you. And I'm panicking because I'm thinking we can't have lost paperwork. And I'm flicking through and he goes, oh, after about 10 minutes, oh, by the way, I'm part of so-and-so's wedding party. Right, okay. Now I'll find the paperwork.
It's that information.
Yeah, but that's nice now to know that they can come in, at a separate time.
Not a
and
problem,
They
yeah.
can get fitted,
Yeah.
and then they're sorted. Then
It's easier for us if they come in one at a time because
Yeah.
it's much quicker.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we appreciate people want to come in groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to come in, they want that experience, they want 5 or 6 lads
Yeah.
all coming in and getting measured at the same time. And then,
They want an excuse
popping off
to
to
go
the
to the pub
pub.
afterwards,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Not
It's
daft,
just
are
there
they?
in Chester as well.
There you go.
It's not as close to
Yeah, you
Moynton
can't
as
get
a
any
full, but
closer,
there we
really.
go.
So massive thanks, guys. We'll wrap it up there. I think we've covered a lot. So just to reiterate then, 12 to 14 months in advance. You need to come
got
in.
it.
Yeah, there you go. I've got it in my head now. I've got it sorted.
What were the other two?
Come in with the partner
Come in with the partner
for the first
for
appointment.
the first appointment.
Book an appointment.
Yeah, that's really
Definitely book
important.
an appointment.
Book an appointment.
You get a couple of days before for hire and a couple of days after.
A week before.
Week before.
And 2 days after.
And 2 days after.
Yeah.
And you get longer for a destination wedding.
If you want it, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other key points we need to know?
6 months.
6 months. That's
Wasn't
you
even
did that,
rehearsed.
didn't you?
Yeah.
6 months and then 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, got it. I think we got all that now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So massive thank you.
Thank you.
Honestly, it's been
Thanks for
great to
having
sit
us.
down with you and go through all this kind of stuff. I think there's some fantastic tips here that couples need to take away and remember those timescales. It's really important. But yeah, so all we can say is thank you very much and bye for now.
Thank you.
See you later.